Hello everyone, this is Mr. Jordan, Professor Chicken Nugget. Today I'm going to tell you a story about Droopy the Juggling Clown. Droopy's real name is Drew Patterson, and every day at school, when his teacher calls roll, she says the first name and the first letter of the last name. When she called Drew's name, she'd say,
Droopy.
And you know it didn't take long for the kids in his class to give him his nickname, Droopy. They didn't say it in a mean way, and Drew even liked his new nickname, Droopy. The students would giggle every morning during roll call, and when the teacher said,
Droopy,
Drew would make a silly face along with them and get a giggle himself. Drew loved to make the students giggle and laugh. Well, one day, the teacher announced a water balloon toss contest for recess. A water balloon toss is when you fill up a water balloon, stand a little bit away from a friend, toss the balloon back and forth, trying to catch and not break it. Droopy was very excited the next day at school. Out on the blacktop, Droopy and his friend Hector H. had their water balloons ready to go. Droopy tossed a water balloon high in the air to Hector H. Hector H. reached out his hands and caught it. Droopy was super happy. Hector H. then threw the water balloon back to Droopy. He threw it super high in the air, and many students yelled, "Catch it, Droopy! Catch it!" Droopy stretched out his hands to catch it. The water balloon went right through his fingertips, smashing his face and getting him all soaking wet. Droopy was certainly a little embarrassed, but he laughed right along with the rest of his friends. But by the end of the week, his nickname went from Droopy to Droppy. The next morning, he walked into the kitchen while his mom was making breakfast. And his mom asked, "You look a little down, Drew. What's the matter?" Drew replied, "Well, my nickname at school is Droopy, and I like it. But yesterday, during the water balloon toss, I dropped the balloon, and everyone started calling me Droppy." She said, "Have some orange juice. Maybe it'll cheer you up." So Drew picked up the glass and took a sip. When he picked up the glass, he bumped into a cube of butter. And the cube of butter bumped into some eggs. And the eggs started rolling towards the end of the table. Drew still had his orange juice in his left hand when the first egg dropped. Droopy sprang into action and caught that first egg right before it hit the ground. But the second one started to drop. As the second egg was falling from the table, Droopy threw the first egg up in the nick of time, caught the second egg as it fell off the table. But the third egg started to drop. So Drew threw the second egg up as high as he could and caught the third egg just before it dropped. Next thing you know, while he was holding the glass of orange juice, Drew was juggling 3 eggs with one hand. But as he juggled, he lost his balance. He bumped into the kitchen wall and a big pot came down and fell on top of his head like a hat. And Drew continued to juggle the 3 eggs while holding the glass of orange juice. Finally, his mom came over to help and snatched 2 eggs quickly from the air, and they set everything down on the table. His mom looked at him and said, "You don't look like Droppy to me. You look more like Droopy the Juggling Clown." So Droopy and his mom laughed and he went off to school. Droopy grabbed 3 tennis balls and a big hat on the way out the door. At recess, he showed off his juggling skills while running in circles. And everyone cheered, "Droopy, Droopy!" And he proudly declared, "That's right, I'm Droopy the Juggling Clown." And no one ever called him Droppy again. The end. "Hey, Droopy, I didn't know you were stopping by."